Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about my top 5 tips for eating with dietary restrictions at Walt Disney World. Tip number 1, tell all the restaurants that you're making dining reservations at that you have someone in your party that has a dietary restriction. This will make it so much easier for them to plan for your arrival on your table, and it'll make it easier on you once you arrive. In my experience, I had a menu given to me that was color-coded with every single thing at this restaurant. Granted, it was buffet, so I don't know if this happens at other restaurants. It was color-coded with every food that was offered at that restaurant, every dietary restriction you could think of, and if that food had that dietary restriction in it. So it would tell you if the potatoes had butter, did they have eggs, did they have milk, on and on and on and on and on. Every single thing was color-coded. So it didn't really matter what dietary restriction you had. You were able to walk around with this menu around the buffet, which the waiter told me it was kind of like the best way possible. She was like, don't try memorizing it, just walk around with this menu. And I could see exactly what I could and couldn't eat at any given point without having to ask a million people, without thinking, oh my God, did they mess this up? Like, no. They have a color-coded menu. This is exactly how they cook it every single time. It was amazing. Now, I do know that when you walk up to a restaurant, like you didn't make a reservation, but it is a sit-down restaurant, you can say, we have somebody with a dietary restriction, and they'll give you something to fill out, and you like check off what your dietary restrictions are. I recommend even doing that if you did it through the app, your reservation through the app, and you're not a walk-up, because it's just better to have it in two places for them. It worked out perfectly for me. Highly recommend. Tip number 2, this goes out to all the people that do not eat meat. For whatever reason, Disney has chosen Beyond Meat as their non-meat of choice, their alternate meat of choice. Throughout all of the parks, all of the resorts, all on property, it is Beyond Meat when you are getting a meat alternative. I highly, highly, highly recommend trying out all of the Beyond Meat products, specifically burgers and like the fake sausages and things like that, anything you could make into a meatloaf, anything like that, before you go on your Disney trip. See if you like it, see if it agrees with you, all of that. I know that I don't do well with Beyond Meat. I don't eat meat. So finding something on Disney property that wasn't meat and a meat alternative that wasn't Beyond Meat was nearly impossible. Do not go there and try Beyond Meat for the first time and then find out there that you really don't like it, whether it's the taste, whether if it sits in your stomach funny, whatever it may be. Try that out before you go. It will save you a ton of stress. You can easily find it at any supermarket that carries non-meat food. Tip number 3, research quick service meals in every park and make a list of it in your notes app on your phone. I made a list of all the places I knew in each park that I could eat at that had food that fit my dietary restrictions and what those foods were. Granted, I couldn't find them on the menu and I needed to ask a cast member. I could say, hey, do you have the blah, 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 blah. Then I could know, oh, I can go to this place. And it even made it easier for me planning walking around the park. Like, oh, let's make sure we're in this area of Animal Kingdom at this time because I know that I can eat this from this place. It just saves you a bunch of stress and scrolling on your phone, trying to go through every single quick service menu to figure out what you can and can't eat. Just go through some menus of the big ones if you want, not all of them if you don't want to, on your phone. Make a list of it in your notes app. That way you have it with you at all times and you can go from there. So much easier and it saves you so much time. Also to this, I made a list of places, God forbid a dining reservation popped up, of restaurants that would be the best fit for me to eat at for my dietary restrictions. So I knew that if I saw them when I was scrolling through my, dining reservation section, that if I saw that restaurant pop up, that was a good restaurant for me. And if I saw something else pop up, that was not a good restaurant for me. It's just easier to know when you're on the go and things change, especially reservations about 2 days before, a day before, 24 hours before, whatever day, they'll change a lot. It's so much easier to have a guide before you go because you do not want to be looking through every single Epcot table service restaurant to see if you can eat there while you're on your Disney trip. You just don't. This tip also saves you from being hangry in the parks, scrolling on your phone, trying to figure out where you can order from and where you can eat, and you're just getting hangry and you're getting annoyed and you just want to eat, but you don't know where to eat. Just save yourself the aggravation and do this ahead of time. I promise you will not regret it. Tip number 4, bring snacks. Snacks. I thought I was good with the amount of snacks that I brought. Lies. Wrong. Absolutely not. Could have brought way more. Bring your snacks, especially the snacks that you can't get or you don't think you can get at the local grocery stores down in Florida. Prepare ahead of time what you will bring. Don't bring chocolate in the summer. It will melt. Snacks that I should have brought that I did not bring were protein powder. You can put a whole tub of protein powder in your suitcase and bring it with you. And then bring it, take a little scoop out, put it in a plastic baggie and bring it into the park and grab yourself a glass of water or whatever and make yourself a protein shake in a to-go bottle. It's so simple, and yet I didn't think to bring it. I thought that was overkill. It was not overkill. I should have done it. Things that I did bring that I'm glad I brought, besides protein bars, were a little to-go squeezy applesauces. Easy, simple snack, fuss-free. It was perfect, especially if you need sugars or something. Incredible. The last thing that I brought that I knew I needed, and it was amazing, was Pedialyte packets. I would buy a water bottle in the park if I didn't want to contaminate my own water bottle with tasting like Pedialyte. And I would pour a Pedialyte packet in, and as I'm walking around, I made sure throughout the day I had 2 Pedialyte packets throughout the day, because it's just, you never have enough hydration, and I did not want to get dehydrated, and I get dehydrated very easily. So it's a very great tip. And granted, you can buy a Powerade and whatever, but it's easy to pack a packet of Pedialyte and just bring it with you and pour it in a water bottle. And tip number 5, I know I'm going to get slack for this, but do not, if you have dietary restrictions, especially more than one restriction, or if it's something that's not as simple as I like to avoid gluten, a true dietary restriction that you can't stray from at all, do not stay club level. It is such a waste of money that you're just going to end up hungry and mad your entire trip. You can't find almond milk. You can't find things that you can eat in the morning that don't have major allergens in it, like milk and eggs and butter and dairy and everything in it. It's so hard, and I stayed 2 different club levels this trip, 2 different lounges. One of them told me that for every single time I wanted to show up to the club level lounge and eat anything, I had to tell them 20 minutes to 30 minutes prior before showing up that I was coming, what I wanted, and that they would make it for me. Granted, it was nice to hear oh, we'll make it for you, but make it for you also meant we'll go fetch you a banana and a glass of oatmeal that didn't have milk in it. It's not worth it, especially if you are spending time in the parks. If you are looking to spend full days in the parks and you don't have a lot of days on your trip, and you're not staying at the hotel for a few days or doing half days or anything like that, you miss it all. You miss it all and you don't get anything, and it's so not worth it. Also, not dietary restriction, but if you're not a big alcoholic person and you don't like alcoholic beverages, it's not worth the money. And it's just not worth it, in my opinion, especially if you have food restrictions. Walked around hungry, walked around mad because I had to argue with so many cast members because they lost, the dietary restriction card over 5 times, what I could eat and when I could eat and all of that. It's just not worth it. You're already dealing with enough if you have dietary restrictions and you're going on a vacation. Don't add any more stress to your life. It's just not worth it. Treat yourselves to some great dining reservations, because the restaurants were incredible and so accommodating. Put your money there. Stay in a normal room. Anyways, as a little added bonus, I wanted to throw in some things that I ate that were allergy friendly, that fit my dietary restrictions that I had on this past trip, that maybe are on your radar, aren't on your radar, wonder if they're good, bad, whatever. Here's the experience. In Magic Kingdom, I had lunch at Pecos. It was like a veggie burrito bowl type thing. I even got extra black beans on the side. salsa, all that jazz. It was great. Filled me. I could eat all of it. I could pick and choose what I didn't want on it. Great. Highly recommend. So good for allergy-friendly things. In Epcot, I had like a little kids meal right before like Sunshine Seasons. I think that's what's called in like the pavilion, in the land pavilion. And it was a kids meal like before they opened, and it was a Uncrustable peanut butter and jelly, carrots, and it came with like a Dasani water or milk, whatever. I got the little water bottle because I put my Pedialyte in it, and it was great. It was like $6. Best $6 I ever spent at Disney. The next thing I ate was the chickpea salad in Morocco. I went there looking for the flatbread. They didn't have it at the time. So the cast member that was there said, hey, can you eat the chickpea salad? And I said, yeah, but there's no option, just eat the chickpea salad. And she said, so I'm going to order you the chicken skewers, and we're just going to say no chicken and double the chickpea salad. And I said, you're a genius. And she went over and like told the people that were making the food, hey, don't cross-contaminate it. Don't give her the chicken. Give her the double the chickpeas. And it was fantastic. It tasted so good. Highly recommend. One of the restaurants I tried was the Cape May Cafe in the Beach Club Resort, which is where I was staying. That's where I got that allergy menu for the buffet. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. So good. Also at the Beach Club Resort was the ice cream shop, Beaches and Cream? Beaches and Soda. I don't remember. You know what it is. So Beaches and Soda. I couldn't tell you. Anyways, I got the vegan ice cream, which is the So Delicious brand. I got chocolate. They had chocolate and something else. I got chocolate. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fantastic. But I have issues with So Delicious. Something in it gives me migraines. I haven't figured out the ingredient. I thought I was fine there. I didn't get a migraine, but it was just, it's a different flavor and a different texture. And again, test out that kind of ice cream before you go. See if you like it. If you don't like it, don't order it. I purposely did not want a sorbet. I was very anti-sorbet that night. And I said, no, I need ice cream. If you don't like So Delicious or you don't want to have a bad experience, go for the sorbet. I'm sure it's fantastic. I was being temperamental that night and I said, no sorbet. So that's on me. One of the festival foods I tried at Japan was the sushi donut. Now, this is not going to come around till next Festival of the Arts, but oh my God, it was so good. I will get it 10 times over. It was fantastic. Highly recommend sushi donut. And the last thing I had was an Impossible Burger and fries from El Mercado at Coronado Springs. It was very late at night. I was very hungry again from all the club level drama. And I was like, look, I'm just going to eat the Impossible Burger. It's like, whatever. I'll just be fine. I'll just be a little nauseous. It's fine. I'm starving. Give me for the food. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I was so sick that night. Like, I should have went to the hospital sick that night. I did not because I knew what caused it. But oh my God. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now that was like the conclusion of all my foods that I ate at Disney. A lot of it included protein bars that I brought myself. A lot of it included the applesauce I brought. But until next time, see you, leave comments, tell me all the things that I messed up and where I should have eaten and what I should have done. Because there's a lot of I should haves and I did nots. So leave the comments for other people to find. Okay, thank you, bye.